yesterday. So we didn't get to do it last night, but we're going to be doing it today. All right, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So feel free to take in a deep breath, connect with the inner source of yours so you can know what parts of this reading may be for you. Now, everyone has Aries, Leo, Sagittarius in their birth chart. So you can have it, feel free to put it in the comments below where you have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Remember that everyone has a house of Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So this is going to be a collective reading for the fire signs today. All right, but whenever you're watching this, it can be for you. It is still general and timeless. And afterwards, we're going to be doing the $10 mini readings. All right, hello, hello, hello. Feel free to put some fire in the comments below. Put that emoji of fire. All right, this is for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We're going to be getting in a collective reading of what is coming in for the fire signs. All right, now I don't know where the moon is today. Where is the moon today? I don't know exactly where it is, but I do know that we have a new moon coming up after that full moon in Aries. Hello, hello. If you're just welcoming and joining us, feel free to put a fire emoji in the comments below. This is going to be for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Feel free to share in the comments below as well where you have those fire placements. You have a Sag Sun, ooh, and rising, ooh, in the first house. Hello, Caroline. How are you? I have a Sag moon, so I have a Sagittarius moon. Yeah, feel free to put in the comments below. And I just got something over here. 111. Oh, some of you might be seeing the number 111. All right. But I did just upload a video. Feel free to go check it out. It's for all the chosen ones on a wealth transfer. And I just got a donation. Okay, so for some of you, it's for all the chosen ones, but Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Let's see what's coming in for you today. Again, everyone has Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius in your chart, so feel free to go check it out where it is that you have it. Afterwards, we're going to be doing the $10 mini readings. Ooh, and you have a Virgo moon. Ooh, that's a nice combo, Sag and Virgo. All right, Divine Mother and Father, Holy Spirit of God, for the fire signs today. Feel free to put some energy in the comments below. Put the fire emoji in the comments below for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What do we have for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? I just keep hearing you have a gift. You have a gift. All right, let's see what this is. For Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, what is coming in? Ah, okay, we do have. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, storm warning and rest. For Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, why do we have storm warning and rest? You have abundance coming in, okay? You have a gift coming in, all right? Door to value. Hello, hello. If you are just joining us, put a fire emoji in the comments below. We're doing Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And feel free to share in the comments below where you have any fire placements. In my top 3, I am a Sag moon. All right. Do you believe in telepathy? Oh, yeah. Extrasensory perception. Jesus over here. You could resonate with Yeshua, with Jesus, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Now, there's abundance coming your way. Before that, though, there's some sort of destruction. Okay, there's a little bit of a storm warning. So there's a warning here, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The storm that comes, it's only asking you to rest. It only is asking you to rest. Jesus was against witchcraft. Jesus was a shaman. You know, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, there may be some things going on in your life where it feels like there's a lot going on, some chaos or destruction. If you feel like you cannot, I'm going to just channel it the way it's coming through. Fire signs. If you feel like you cannot insert your will, it's because it's God's will, the storm warning. Okay. With the rest over here. Thank you, Misty Love. Thank you for being here. Telepathy is short range. Yeah, feel free to also put in the comments below. This is a time for us to have a soul tribe chat through all time and through all space, whoever you are, wherever you are. Feel free to start some open conversations. We can answer some of your spiritual questions. I love the Bible so much. Hi, Stephen. So yeah, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, there's something here that you cannot quite control, but only because it's asking you to release control. There is some sort of storm, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, that has come into your life, But Aries, Leo, Sag, it's only coming to your life for you to surrender to it. Rest and rejuvenation here. All right, it's kind of like meditating in the eye of the storm. You do also have some abundance that's on the way to you. I'm going to grab a few more cards. For Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, for those just joining, feel free to put a fire emoji in the comments below. Mr. Peep, your skin's smooth like butter. I try. It could be smoother, but thank you. I try. Feel free to also put in the comments below what you use for your skin. Honey is really good. So even natural honey, turmeric. I like to make natural masks and elixirs and things like that. Hello, Allie. How are you? Put those fire emojis in the comments below. Get your energy into the reading so we could pick up on your energy. For Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, why do we have storm warning, rest and rejuvenation? Listen, Linda, listen. Aries, Leo, Sag. Spirit said surrender over here. Oh, fire signs. This is something you can't control. It's interesting. Speed of light. La, 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 la. Hello, Ali. In the Book of Enoch. Yeah, I like the Book of Enoch. We have Cloak of Wisdom. You already know the answers you seek. Trust your wisdom. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connection between all things. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What Spirit is saying is that you know this storm, you just have to surrender to. All right? Aries, Leo, Sag. There is something here that you cannot control in your life at all. But what Spirit is saying here is Cloak of Wisdom, soul expansion. You understand that this is just something to surrender to. This is not something to control. Very interesting. We're going to see exactly what this is. I'm going to grab one of these cards as well. Feel free to put those fire emojis in the comments below. Get your energy into this reading. At the end of the collective reading, we're going to do $10 mini readings. Feel free to send it to the Cash App that's in the title above, goddessenergy444. Hi, Mazarin, how are you? Hi, lovely Victoria. Ooh, I like the high heels in the comments there. What do we have for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius on this storm that they are just surrendering to? Why do we have storm warning, rest and rejuvenation, cloak of wisdom, and soul expansion? Fire signs. You know exactly what to do. That's exactly what it says. You know what to do. You know what to do over here. It says, don't rely on other people to solve your problems. Rest assured that you will conquer those obstacles. You know the solution. It takes time. Aries, Leo, Sag, there is some sort of storm or maybe chaos in your life that you absolutely cannot control. And for some of you, what's also coming through fire signs is like there's like a lack of help, or maybe you feel like you need some sort of help. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But this storm more has something to reveal to you, to share to you. Aries, Leo, Sag, right now is the time to get into those spiritual and meditative practices. You know, there's a lot of wisdom that's coming through from this storm. And what Spirit is saying is you know exactly what to do. And if you don't feel like you know what to do, right? If you're seeking clarity, the answer is actually in meditation, connecting with Source. Aries, Leo, Sag, the answer is not outside of you in this situation. You know, it's almost like Spirit has almost like blocked roads for you, has withheld tools, support, resources. But because there's something, it's almost like a soul contract where you are meant to do it in some way, shape, or form. You know, let's see. I'm going to read the comments over here. Ooh, you're planning on proposing soon. Yes, feel free to send a Cash App $10 to goddessenergy444 and we'll do a reading at the end of this collective reading. Congratulations too. Music, Capricorn, Scorpio, Cancer goes well with Taurus. The Taurus bull. Hi, music. All right, so let's see what this is. I'm going to grab a few more cards here. We'll go to the tarot. For the fire signs, why do we have storm warning, rest, cloak of wisdom, you know what to do, you know what to do again, and soul expansion? What is this storm for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? What is this storm for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? What is this storm for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? Too many cards. Do you have fame and fortune? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Your karmic debt is paid here. That's why. Aries, Leo, Sag. There was actually, this is karmic debt to be paid. Over here is what's coming through. Interesting. We have soulmate. We have high priestess. All right. Utilize that inner high priest or priestess in this situation. For fire signs, why do we have storm warning here? We do have fertility. We do have abundance here as well. And the wheel turns in your favor. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is actually something that you can't control. Paul, I'll try not to. Paul said, don't put a spell on me. Cleopatra energy. We are the spell. We don't do no spells. These type of, oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Lord Jesus Christ. We need Jesus Christ in these comments. Where are the Bible comments? We need more of the Bible comments now. All right. Karmic debt paid over here. We have storm warning as the wind picks up. Blessings to you too, Benjamin. Yeah, you saw that. Scorpio season's coming. In a few days, actually. Scorpio season's around the corner. Clearly with some of those comments too. Karmic debt paid. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What's almost coming through fire signs is like this was a karmic debt for you to pay that you know there's no like getting out of it. It's more going through it. And you clear it though. There is actually wealth at the end of this reading. So we have fertility. We have abundance. The wheel turns in your favor, but how? Paying a debt. And, you know, it's never personal what the debt, you know, is. But whatever storm, whatever chaos this is in your life, let's see with the tarot over here. What Spirit is saying is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This was a karmic debt for you to pay. There was no avoiding it. It was just surrendering to it. But it is what opens the roads. And the wind is just picking up all around me over here. All right. Interesting. Now, there's a difference between karma and karmic fate. Karmic fate works towards your soul destiny. You know, like a bill that you can't like get out of, that it's just easier to pay it. Like your life will be easier if you just pay that. Or you could spend 10 years paying little bits and pieces. Fire signs. Your karmic debt is paid over here, but there was no controlling it. Rest and rejuvenation, cloak of wisdom, trust what you know, soul expansion. You understand the connection between all things. It was just time to pay this. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. All right, for Aries, Leo, Sag, for fire signs. And I will say there is wealth at the end of this, okay? Scorpio. I love Scorpio season. It's my second favorite season next to Pisces. Misty love. Welcome, Scorpio. I find they... Make sure you get a high vibing Scorpio though. Yes. Scorpios need to do a lot of shadow work. Scorpio placements. You're a true Pisces. I love that. Hi, Benjamin. How are you? All right. So, for fire signs, what is this karmic debt paid for fire signs? What is this karmic debt paid for fire? Oh, there you go, fire signs. You come back into your power at the end of this reading. But there is some sort of karmic debt over here to be paid. All right. And it's a gift. Confirmation with the 6 of coins. You know, it's like Saturn energy. Confirmation with the like emergency sirens. A lot of people don't necessarily like Saturn energy. Saturn works with you. You know, when we understand, like when we unlearn control from like an immature or spiritually immature perspective, where discipline is self-love, discipline is devotion, discipline is love, right? And that's also coming from the most like rebellious person you could probably think of. That I talk all this now, but I am a rebel. I was that kid that you're going to tell me not to do something and I will find 1,000 ways to do what you told me not to do. You know, however, like from that perspective, discipline is a form of self-love. What I'm seeing here, fire signs, is there's some sort of Saturn energy where you understand that like it was time to pay that. It was time to do it. And as you get through it, there's wealth at the end of it, okay? You're going to be rewarded for some sort of karmic debt that you cleared out here. For fire signs, for karmic debt paid, For fire signs and karmic debt paid, why the Six of Coins? Why the King of Wands for karmic debt paid? Confirmation, rest. Pisces, not Pisces. I read a lot for Pisces. For Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Four of Swords, okay? With your energy at the end of this. King of Wands and the Four of Swords. Something led you to a spiritual path. Like it was time for you to come home to your spiritual path. For some of you, that's meditation. It's prayer. It's like, I'm hearing belief in God, in higher self, and a higher power over here. I know. I remember when one of the cards levitated too. They just like fall all over. When they fall on my heart, I like that too. Why the Chariot card with the High Priestess here? Beautiful energy. For Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, fire signs, for this karmic debt paid. Why Three of Cups with the Six of Coins for karmic debt paid? Ooh, it was a soulmate, a friend. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It was a soulmate, a friend. Whoa, what's happening here? All right, let's see. For Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, why for karmic debt paid? Strength card and the Eight of Swords over here. There was some sort of karma with a soulmate here. Okay, it could have been a karmic soulmate. Hi, Jessica's World. How are you? Why the Ace of Cups for fire signs for karmic debt paid? It's the Justice scales. There was karmic debt with, like, say, a past life or some sort of karmic soulmate. Look at the Justice scales here. This is interesting. Now, why High Priestess, Chariot card, and the Sun card for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? Aries, Leo, Sag. I see you getting karma through a soulmate over here. And that it was time for it to happen. Why Four of Swords with the King of Wands for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? Now, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius over here. For Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Why Queen of Swords with the Five of Pentacles here? Yeah, you and a soulmate like delivered karma to one another. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Who is this Queen of Swords to the fire signs? Who is this Queen of Swords over here to the fire signs? Now, yeah, for some of you, this is like a past life enemy kind of thing. And it's your karmic fate. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This soulmate was karmic fate. Very interesting. Could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. They could be a fire sign as well. Now, why the Four of Swords for fire signs for karmic debt paid? Oof. Now, I'm used to reading for like Pisces and ancient souls. I've been going live. I've been asked to read for all signs, and I've been going live for just all the different signs. The wind's picking up, as you could see. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Fire signs. You have a soulmate here that you both delivered karma to one another. I don't do readings like this often. To one another. Confirmation that the wind is just picking up. I'm just hearing it all over the house. Oof, you have the Devil card over here. All right. Now, for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, why the Four of Swords and the Devil card? Ooh, for some of you, this was a lover. It could have been a lover. We have the Ten of Cups here. Why Four of Swords, the Devil card, and Ten of Cups for fire signs for karmic debt paid? Why Ten of Cups for karmic debt paid? But you have a brand new cycle that does start through it. Oh, sounds crazy. Yeah. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You both were karmic mirrors to one another. All right. And what's coming through here is like understanding of like, oh, you know, understanding how energy confirmation. You could be seeing the number 444. I'm also just getting a phone call and the number 444 here. Why the World card for fire signs for karmic debt paid? Yeah, you got things coming in after this. Very interesting. All right, I want to dive deeper into this though. Why do you guys have karmic debt with one another? Now, this could be past life, it could be the past, but I do see a lot of joy, a lot of spiritual energy. We got High Priestess energy, and then the Death card over here. Someone could have been trying to avoid an awakening, and it happened anyway. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Was it someone else? Was it you? What's coming through is avoiding an awakening that was meant to happen anyway. For Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, why the Death card? Seven of Wands over here. Why the Death card for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? Three. And then why the High Priestess here for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? Why the High Priestess? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What's coming through here is like someone's intuition being attacked. Their High Priestess being attacked. Oh my gosh. Someone's comment, let's go to dinner. You pay though. Let's get the universe to pay. Spirit is going to pay. God is going to pay. You know, and you should try. I did that once in Puerto Rico. When I was in Puerto Rico, I was like, you know what? Osiris is going to pay for it. And then he actually did. Well, not like Osiris, but it came from known and unknown sources where like I was at dinner by myself. It was there's actually an Egyptian restaurant in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And a full-on Egyptian where you go in, it's a temple, and there's like a huge, even just like thing of Osiris, just from head to like the ceiling rather, you know, to the floor. And I remember saying that. I was like, you know what? No, Osiris is paying for this. And then turns out like I forgot what it was, some random donation or something. All right, so say that out loud, all right? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you both owed karma to one another here. Fire signs. Now, someone tried attacking a High Priestess, though. That's what I see here. Someone tried attacking a High Priestess. Nine of Swords, Four of Coins, the Eight of Coins. What I'm seeing is like someone trying to block someone's third eye. Why Nine of Swords, Four of Coins, and the Eight of Swords for High Priestess? Now, it's interesting, right? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Chariot card, High Priestess, the Sun card. This is like alignment with God's will, soul aligned, showing up very pure. Oh, I'm telling you that God and Evo will send you some blessings. Oh, blessings. Thank you. Hello, Marlon. How are you? Nine of Coins over here. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Was this you? Is this? I'm seeing, honestly, I don't do these type of readings often. What I'm seeing is people who delivered karma to one another over here. But even you, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, it's like this person, there was something that had to be paid here. Now, I am seeing an attack of a High Priestess energy. But then someone gets karma for it. Yeah, feel free to look it up. It's an Egyptian restaurant in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And it's Egyptian. It's really good. Why the Eight of Swords and the Magician card for the High Priestess for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? Justice. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Someone tried to attack a High Priestess. Someone tried to persecute a High Priestess. And there's cosmic order and justice about it. All right, someone tried to attack a light worker, a High Priestess, or a High Priest. Tried to block their third eye. Justice card over here. Now, what is this Death card for the Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? What is the Death card? This is an interesting reading. For fire signs, why 10 of Swords with the Hangman for that Death card? There was an unjust, like, persecution of some sort of High Priest or Priestess. Also, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, there was like an avoidance of an awakening that was meant to happen anyway. Someone tried to avoid an awakening. It ended up happening anyway. And that's what I see here. Look at that, the Star card. All right. Very interesting here. But what I do see is you came across a karmic soulmate that you both delivered karma to one another. Now, for the end of this reading, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, for King of Wands here, what do we have? Why King of Wands and Queen of Wands? You come back into your power. For Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, for this King of Wands, what do we have? Ooh. Karmic mirrors. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, fire signs. You met a karmic mirror here, and you both delivered karma to one another. I don't usually do readings like this. All right. Afterwards, we are going to be doing the $10 mini readings. Whoa, you met your match here. Not necessarily in like a good way. Two of Pentacles, balance over here. Yeah. Wow. Now, for some of you, Aries, Leo, I'm just going to read it the way it's coming out. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, there may have been something you've done in the past where you almost like met someone and they delivered some sort of karma that was overdue kind of thing. Why the Two of Swords for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? It was time. Look at that 10 of Wands over here. It was time to let something go. Something was a burden. Like Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, what's coming through here is almost like avoiding something from the past. And then some sort of karmic debt happens anyway, but only to serve you. You do have abundance here. Why do we have abundance for Aries, Leo? Because you have victory and success. When? Look at that. Page of Pentacles, okay? The cards are saying you need to eat a sandwich. I would love a sandwich. If anyone has a sandwich, that would be great. I love to eat. I actually eat way more than I look. I was telling that to someone yesterday. I eat more than the people who they think that they eat more than me. So if you have a sandwich, I like anything but tuna. I don't like tuna sandwiches. I'm sorry to tuna. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you have a victory. Abundance is coming in as this karmic debt is repaid. There is something from the past that you had once avoided, and there's like someone who came into your life that delivered it, but you gave them karma too. This person was a karmic mirror over here. Now, what is the advice for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? You have abundance coming in, okay? And then you do have the Hermit card with a spiritual awakening. This reading is interesting. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. There's a spiritual awakening at one point you may have avoided until you came across your karmic mirror. And it brought you into a soul search, into spiritual enlightenment. The spiritual enlightenment is what brings the wealth. You know, what's also coming through just as a channel, Pisces North Node. Whoever's denying spirituality, you cannot deny it. I like pastrami sandwiches. I had, what is it called? Like the mozzarella, the prosciutto, whatever it's called with the meat and like tied around the mozzarella. I had that this morning. That was good. Ace of Pentacles, the Hermit card over here. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. How does your greatest wealth come in with a spiritual connection? You cannot deny spirituality. You cannot deny your connection to source. There is a spiritual awakening that's meant to happen for you, and that's what brings in all the wealth. Your greatest wealth will come in as you are in alignment with your soul purpose, soul mission, say soul destiny, whatever resonates with you. Most of all, when you're in that frequency to receive. What do we have for Ace of Pentacles and the Hermit card for advice for the fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Yeah, and you know what I see over here? We have Three of Pentacles, Seven of Wands. Why Three of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands? Yeah. I see over here, number one, you're very protected. All right. I do see that you're clearing out karmic debt. You have a wish fulfillment. But what Spirit's also saying is it's going to come on your own. There's something about you working by yourself, working with, I don't know why I want to say small groups of people, but for some of you, working by yourself. All right, it's almost like Spirit secludes you and the wealth comes in for you, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The card has filled my gaps in the card. That is what? The cards have chosen my way. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing over here. All right, you do get a reward for your hard work, but it comes in as you go through something very karmic with someone. Okay, this karmic debt just had to be paid. All right, now let's see how this person feels about you. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. How does this person that is your karmic mirror over here, how does this person feel about you? How does this person feel about you? For Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Six of Wands wanted to come out again. For Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, how does their karmic mirror, how does this soulmate feel about Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? This soulmate, like, you guys come in, it's interesting, you guys delivered karma to one another. Fire signs. Nine of Swords over here, the Empress card, and then you have the Two of Coins over here. All right. So what's coming through over here is like this person also knows the same thing. Now, how do the fire signs feel about this soulmate? How do the fire signs feel about this soulmate? Well, you feel you have a lot of opinions about this person. It's interesting. You both are such karmic mirrors. I've never done a reading like this before, where there's someone that's like fire signs. You want nothing to do. You're like, oh, that person is just so aloof. That aloof. For some of you, you think this person is aloof. But they also delivered you karma. Why the Seven of Cups here for how the fire signs feels about this person? Aloof, the Fool card. Fire signs, you think that this person is aloof. You don't like this person. However, this person did deliver some sort of karma. And you to them. For how the soulmate feels about the fire signs. Why Two of Coins, the Empress card, and the Nine of Swords? Fire signs. This is a very interesting reading. There's some karma delivered to you, to this person too. This person is the soulmate of yours, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. They're doing okay over here. You know, you hurt them. And it could be roles reversed. Remember, all roles can be reversed. So I'll just say soulmates, because roles can be reversed here. However, what this reading is still saying is there's a King of Wands here that tried to avoid a spiritual awakening. This soulmate is the one who brought it in. Hanged Man over here. The soulmate is actually doing okay. I see wealth. I see Ace of Cups and overflow. They're showing up as an Empress. The Aries, Leo, Sagittarius was extremely critical of the soulmate. Now, remember that roles can be reversed. So, you know, it also can be the other way around. But what I'm seeing here is someone, and it was the King of Wands who was in this energy. They were not nice to this other energy, this soulmate. They were very critical of this person. But this person is actually thriving or going to thrive. For Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, the soulmate of the Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, how do they feel? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Now, this is showing up on your side, but remember that all roles can be reversed. King of Wands. There's a King of Wands here that hurt someone that like actually really loved them and was very genuine. And that's why this person delivered the karma. Like this King of Wands here was so critical, almost like mean. You know, not like, but just like completely critical. King of Swords in reverse, Seven of Cups. This is like the energy that this King of Wands felt like that other person was annoying, but the other person is getting a lot of blessings. It's interesting here. So this was a lesson for the King of Wands. Why King of Swords in reverse for how the King of Wands feels about this soulmate. We have King of Cups. We have the Nine of Wands over here. Why King of Swords in reverse? Be very mindful. Again, roles could be reversed, but it's like being mindful of when you see someone as a fool. Sometimes God puts, like, there's heyokas out there. Jesus loves me. Yes, I know. The Bible tells me so. Thank you. Hi, Misty Love. Thank you. Thank you for commenting on my necklaces. And thank you, Jessica's World. Thank you for being here. Yeah, you have the Three of Wands here. You know, so you're turning your back to this Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This was a very karmic connection. Karma was delivered to like both parties over here. But I will say, this is showing up on the King of Wands side. It doesn't have to be the King of Wands. Roles can be reversed here. You are going to put your back to this, but there is something about judgment and lessons over here. Why the Fool card with the Four of Coins for? Why the Fool card and the Four of Coins for how the King of Wands feels about this soulmate? Yeah, it feels like though even the King of Wands is shifting their perspective. Someone may have been a High Priestess over here, but in like the shape of like a Fool card kind of thing. You know, it's interesting though. King of Wands was meant to have a spiritual awakening that they avoided, is what's coming through in this reading. All right, so let's just get the advice of how to move forward into this abundance. Because Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, I do see abundance for you. But it actually comes in after you clear out some very karmic mirroring with a karmic soulmate over here. Now, for some of you, though, again, roles could be reversed, but the King of Wands saw someone as like, oh, they got so many issues, they got so many problems, they're so aloof. And that person is the one that delivered them the karma. All right, now what's the advice for the King of Wands here? What's the advice for King of Wands here? Interesting. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, what keeps showing up is on your end, but remember that roles can be reversed. In order to move forward, like it's facing truth, is what's coming through here. There is an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius that it almost feels like avoided their heart space, avoided like the truth. The truth still came through over here. In order for you to move forward and finish what you start, there was something to pay. Why the Five of Cups here for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius for advice? So interesting, this reading. The Star card with the Four of Cups here, you know, King of Wands is in regret. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius feels like that they're in regret. This was someone who was very pure. Someone who had very pure intentions here. Someone who was of sacred service. So what's coming through though is like a fire sign who like hurt a very spiritual person. And that spiritual person, now again, roles could be reversed. Could be two fire signs, but it's two fire signs, right? Because I did see a Queen of Wands too. When you hurt a very spiritual person, and I mean like, you know, people who are really connected, who are devoted, who are showing up, and they start to cry, you know, or you hurt them, that's karma in itself, you know. You do have a Wheel of Fortune. Why the Wheel of Fortune? Yeah, you are going to have a reward for your hard work. But it's interesting that there's something here about acknowledging spirituality. You can't run from it. You can't avoid fate. And that's what's coming through here. Someone regrets something over here. However, it brings in the blessings, truly. And you're able to move forward. Why Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Wands for King of Wands here? You get success. But it's very interesting. Steve Siegel. I don't know what that means. But you get the success through acknowledging something here. All right. So what's coming through is either you were the karma to someone or you came across someone, they were the karma to you. You know, and this was like someone who was like a non-believer in spirituality until boom, all of this happens, right? And it does say you understand the connection between all things. So it's like a fire sign may have hurt another fire sign, you know, or like a fire sign hurt someone here. well, now all this happened. Confirmation as I'm getting a call. Okay. Where it's like, well, now all this has happened. It's almost like King of Wands was overdue for a spiritual awakening. And as they surrender to the spiritual awakening, all of the success comes in. You know, there's some sort of like demand to step into your highest potential and to remember who you are. All right, that's what I have for you. A Page of Wands over here, intuition. I'm going to grab a few cards of advice. We'll go to $10 mini readings for the fire signs, if there are any $10 mini readings. And we do have one Maurice. Oh, Maurice, blessings to you and thank you. I think Maurice is here. If Maurice is here, I would love to do a reading for you. I don't know if Maurice is here, or feel free to email me to do a reading. Blessings to you ×3. Yes, Marlon, you channel things. You channel, like, you're such a prophet. Where Marlon, there's certain things that you've channeled in the past that I haven't even like sometimes commented on. I'll explain one of them where you mentioned something from a past life, and this was maybe a year ago. But then like it was a confirmation later on. So like, Marlon, you are such a high priest. Like you really are on the soul level. And the things that you say, you may not even realize that they're actually correct. You know, you're really channeling. So just thank you for being you, Marlon. All right. Let's get some messages in for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The thinking man, yeah. There's a King of Wands here, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, that is just understanding of like, oh, like they're going through a big awakening here. Again, roles could be reversed where it could have been a fire sign and a fire sign, because we have a Queen and King of Wands that was very karmic to one another. But it's understand the connection between all things. You know, it's like someone came into a King of Wands life and really had them self-reflect over here. Yes, deserve the highest. 333, Ashe, yes. We have cornucopia over here for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What do we have for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? Care and compassion, choose to be love. Do what is right for everyone involved and offer a helping hand. Guanyin, care and compassion. Okay, so, you know, the King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you truly met like a karmic mirror, but to the point that you wanted, look at that, Holy Spirit, expect miracles. King of Wands, this person, it was so karmic, it made you want to become a better person. It's just an interesting reading. And I mean, sometimes it happens that way, where it's like you meet someone and it's like, oh, I never ever want to be like you. I'm going to do my best to like be a better person and this and that. And, you know, those things just exist. So it says, choose to be loved, do what's right for everyone involved. And I do see that there is like a mistreatment of someone here, and it brought upon a spiritual awakening. All right, for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, what is some advice for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? Oh. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, that's kind of crazy. And I say that just because this whole reading says expanding your consciousness. You came across this person, this karmic soulmate for a spiritual awakening. Apollo divine messages over here. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you may have come off your spiritual path a little bit. This person was sent into your life to kind of just like put you back in, but it was kind of karmic. Thank you for liking my necklaces. Yeah, they're very intentional, conscious, my necklaces. They were given to me. I only don't wear them a few days out of the month, and then I pretty much wear them every day. Yeah, if you would like a reading, feel free to cash out goddessenergy444. This energy is just so interesting, though. Fire signs, like a devil card, but in the sense that Spirit really wanted you in alignment with your highest truth and purpose. And Spirit sends you a karmic soulmate, kind of light the fire, like under your bottom, under your behind, and push you into your purpose. And that's what I'm seeing here. I'm going to grab just a few more messages. What do we have for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? Ponder what you want. I know the term. Oh my gosh. These comments. Not that comment, the other comment. Scorpio season is on the way. All right, we have ponder what you want. Raz here. Hi, Raz. How are you? Thank you. Thank you for being here. So, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, don't view rejection or uncertainty as all negative. Look at that about the alignment. Timing may be out of alignment with your intention. Use this time to gain a better understanding of the situation. Oh, King of Wands, you were sent a karmic soulmate, and it may have been another fire sign, because we have 2 fire signs here, that made you just rethink everything of like, I need to get closer to God. I need to this in my life. I want to become a better person. And sometimes like spirit will do that. I think a lot of us have had those things or times, right? Karmic cycles in our lives. We're like, whoa, like I really need to like come into alignment, right? And that's what happened here. Use this time to gain a better understanding of the situation and contemplate what you truly want in life. This may be a chance for an optimal turn of events, and it is. The wheel turns in your favor. I see more abundance than ever before. The wheel turns for you. You turn your back to this whole situation, and you have a 6 of Wands, success and victory. However, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, it does come in by, you meet this person, it just changes who you are as a person, how you operate. And it actually brings you more into alignment with your spirituality, your spiritual path, God, universe, whatever resonates with you. Now, what do we have for the fire signs as closing advice? What do we have for fire signs as closing advice? No action needed. Call back your energy. We have DNA as well. A lot of DNA activations. What do you say about Capricorn? I did a Capricorn reading, I believe it was yesterday or the day before. We did earth signs. So feel free to go check out the live videos. We did earth signs the other day. Call back your energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. There's no action needed. And it's interesting. It has it all over this reading where it's like, you know why this happened. So for some fire signs, or you could be dealing with the fire sign, you might be the one cross-watching. It's like, I understand that this happened and now this happened, right? Where it's like, well, you mistreat someone, you judge someone, you over criticize someone or overly critical where it was unnecessary. Karma. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here. It brings success though. So what Spirit is saying is there's a lesson here, whether that be for the cross watcher or for the Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, that through that lesson is how everything comes in, but there's actually no avoiding it. The movie, The Final Destination, you can avoid fate, where it's like you run over there and you run over there and then you run over there. You can't avoid fate. Remember the movie The Final Destination? I don't know if they have any new ones or anything. I used to love that movie though, as a kid actually, like as a kid, teenager, adult, where they had like all the different ones, and then the first few ones were good. But that's what I have for you, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Thank you for the donation. Someone just sent a donation for a reading as well. I hope that you're here, but it looks like they left. And even in the message, it says that they're just sending for a reading. So if you'd like a reading, feel free to email me. Yeah, they made a lot of those movies. And that's what I'm seeing here, though. It's like, I can't help but understand why this happened. Now, we did all the signs for this week. So every single week, we're going to be going live for earth signs, water signs, fire signs, and air signs. Today we did fire. Yesterday was air. And we did, I think the day before that, or 3 days before that, earth and water. All right, so feel free to go check out those lives. There's also a reading for the chosen ones that uploaded today, where there is a wealth transfer that is coming in. That's coming in for all of the light workers. All right, you're an Aries. Oh yeah, Aries dealing with the Leo. What I saw here was fire sign to fire sign of karmic mirroring. And like through that situation is how it comes in, but there's actually no getting out of the situation. It feels like it's almost karmic fate to come across that karmic soulmate. I watched the first one in the theater. Yeah, I love the first one. The first few ones. But then after that, there's just a bunch of stuff, All right, but I'm sending you all so much love and so many blessings. We're going to open up the chat for just a spiritual chat, soul tribe chat. Are there any topics of conversation, anything it is that you want us to talk about, any questions that you want us to answer? Feel free to put it in the comments below. In these crazy days and time and ages of ascension, we're not here to be separated. The social media is, it's duality. But it is, if we use it intentionally and consciously, you know, as 144,000, as chosen ones, as whatever you want to call it, you know, it's for us to gather and it's for us to co-create, you know. So the internet is for us to come into unity with one another through all time and space where we would be otherwise separated. All right. Yes. Thank you, Misty Love. All right. Well, I'm sending you all so much love and so many blessings. Again, there is a all signs reading Ancient Souls that had just uploaded, and channel members, you have a reading that uploaded this morning too. And if you're in the Patreon, it always uploads first to Patreon. And this Saturday, we do have the Venusian workshop, so feel free to go join it. There's only 24 hours left to join. And Puerto Rico retreat is coming up too. You could answer, or rather ask any questions it is that you may have to my email. It's letsgohome7777, so 4 sevens at gmail.com. I noticed a lot of Aries have lots of tattoos. Oh, that's an interesting observation. I only have one placement of Aries. So I have one like Aries placement. That's it. I have how many tattoos? I think I have 15 tattoos, something like that. Aries, oh, Aries is very fiery, probably expression too, right? Like Aries represents, Aries is number one, right? It represents the sun. As soon as I see the moon, isn't that crazy? I say Aries represents the sun and I get an emoji of a moon, you know. Oh my gosh, the comments. So if Aries is, right, the first house, the sun, or ego, right? It's like what you see. Aries likes to, like, you know, look at me, you know. Aries is very much, Aries energy is in your face. I say that my son's an Aries stellium, and he'll come up to you and like grab your face and just be in your face. But that's Aries energy. So maybe that's why. That's like maybe just my theory of what comes through. You know, you don't have, yeah, you could always check over where you have Aries, like the house. So we all have a house. You know, for example, I don't have any Taurus placements, but my 8th house is in Taurus. I don't have any Leo placements, but my 11th house is Leo. All right, I'm going to grab an Isis deck, Isis card rather, from the Isis Oracle deck to close this out. And I'm sending you all so much love. All right, I'll see all of you and the Patreon members in the Venusian Temple and Workshop this Saturday. Oh, you don't have any tattoos. That's what you meant, Andrea. I got my first tattoo at 16. Oh, my first tattoo was a rose. At 16, I somehow convinced my mother, which is the strictest one you will find. I don't know how, I think at the time, I was 16. I said, Mom, but, you know, Grandma Rosa, I want to get her name and her rose tattooed on me for Grandma Rosa. And she let me. But I told her at 16, I was like, I promise, Mom, I promise. My body's a temple. No, I did not stop after that. I think I have like 15 tattoos, but the only ones that are really visible are here and here. I do have one here, you know, my wrists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, something like that. I look like an Instagram. I don't like social media. I look like an Instagram. I think we are all models of God. We're all holograms of God, beautifully designed. Like Leo, do they want to be the center of attention? I think fire signs in general do. You know, I think fire signs with that fire energy, right? It's like passion. And so the way that fire signs channel that energy is like passion. I do have 2 Sag placements. I have 1 Aries placement. So I have a little bit of fire in there. Yeah, and then Leo, you know, is like the star of the zodiac as well. All right, let's get in an Isis message to close this out. Divine sisterhood, community of the spiritual sisters and brothers of light. Okay, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you are uniting with your community over here. All right, call it in. Community, a divine sisterhood and brotherhood, rather. So not just sisterhood, brotherhood too. They should have oracle cards that are specifically for men. Like not specifically for men, but masculine energy, which I know they do. I used to have a God oracle deck. I don't know where I could get that again. But they should have like more oracle decks that are designed for like masculine energy and to channel the masculine energy. Right. Maybe that's a call out to all brothers to like step up and rise and share your voice and your gifts. All right. The bottom of the deck is Mother of Life over here. Okay. The key of life. You're going to be greatly nourished. And what some of you fire signs just need to hear is that it's going to be through your brothers and sisters. All right. And there's a lot of co-creation that's happening. All right. But that's what I have for you. I hope that it resonates in a positive way. I'm sending you all so much love and so many blessings to your day. And I will see you, Pisces. Pisces, you're going to be getting an upload tomorrow. Patreon, go check out the Patreon. We have an ancient grimoire on there. So new moon, full moon, starting at $7 a month, I believe it is. New moon, full moon rituals, early access to all channel members' videos. You get your own videos each week. You get an astrology like transit forecast for each week. And then a few other rituals. And you also get free access. For only $7 a month, you get free access to all workshops all year round. So all that's in tier 1. Tier 2 is the Mystery School Initiate, which is just more of a grimoire. You know, so for those who are interested in ancient teachings, the rituals. So there's a soul destiny protection ritual on there for the Mystery School Initiates. We dive deep into the mantras, Mystery School teachings. That's also on there on patreon.com/Blue Rose Mystery School. Yeah, feel free to join. There's a lot there, you know, especially for tier 2, which tier 1, you get new moon and full moon rituals that are specific to each transit. And then tier 2, it's more of the Mystery School stuff. But if you utilize it, it's meant to increase your wealth. You know, it's meant for soul alignment, soul destiny alignment. So the intention is not for you, you know, to join and just receive information. I hope you join and that you multiply times 3, times 5, times 7, whatever it is that the membership is. So whether it's the $7 tier or $33 tier, our intention is for you to multiply that and to come into alignment with your soul destiny and purpose. Do you have anything for healing? Yeah, what do you want to know about healing? What part of healing? As far as the Patreon, yes, I do. You know, so we talk a lot about with the Venusian Mystery School too, and you do get free access to the Venusian workshop that's happening this Saturday if you join the Patreon. So if you join Patreon before Saturday, you do get access to the workshop and all other workshops that will be coming up. One of the teachings of the Venusian Mystery Schools is for us to not come out, you know, of the mental emotional bodies, but to untether from it. You know, if we drop into like the lower mental emotional bodies or even of other people, right? We take on their emotions, the thought forms, the energy. That does impact our wealth, right? That does impact our energy in certain ways. You know, and the Venusian Mystery Schools too, we're going to be going over the tapping, coming into the body. You know, Venusian Mystery Schools are all about being fully embodied, right? So it has everything to do with Tantra, not Westernized Tantra, but Eastern Tantra of yoking with God. You know, again, being fully present in our bodies, in our God bodies. So some of those things are going to be in the Venusian workshop as well. And Venus is your ROI. So the astrology hack. How do you increase wealth and abundance? Not just money, you know, but abundance, soulmates in your life. How do you attract them into your life? Not being afraid of investing in your Venus. And in general, you know, I saw this earlier too. Anyone who's not afraid to invest, you know, knowing you're going to get an ROI. And sometimes it's up to you. You know, where like for me, again, I'm rebellious, where I do have, my Virgo's in the 12th house. So I have spiritual discipline, but rebellious in almost every way you could think of. However, again, investing, when we invest in ourselves, or rather, let me say what I was going to say, that I will not lose. And I like have that firm belief. I don't even care if that was a bad session. I don't care if I feel like that healer or this or that. I'm going to get something from that session because I said so. And it's like that kind of energy I have never lost from a session. Even if it wasn't what I expected, even if a ceremony wasn't what I expected. Even if at first maybe it brought up some shadow or purging, I always receive from every coach I've ever worked with. But it's because I go in with the intention of, I'm not losing. No, I'm going to get a return of my investment. And the mind is magical, right? All magic starts in the mind. And that's why it's not even the candles to worry about of black magic. I care about how people think. You know, it's not even like the candles. How are you thinking? That's what's important. That is the magic. You know, and so when you unlock Venus in your birth chart, and we're going to show you how in the Venusian workshop this Saturday, It's your ROI, your Venus sign, and the house it is that it's in. When you do like that astrology math and you invest in that, you will see a result. So like, for example, my Venus is in Pisces in the 5th house. So when I actually invest into my own Venus, or I invest in spirituality, which I'm thankful I actually have that placement, that actually kind of works out for Pisces, but 5th house is Venus. My Venus is in the 5th house and in Pisces. So when I invest in those things, my life always gets better in some way, shape, or form. Who's saying that? So hijo de Elegua. Yes. Do not mention his name here. Actually do it. Yeah, mention his name. Are you of Elegua, opener of the roads? Where am I from? I am from New York. I live in Connecticut. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to be in the Caribbean soon. I'm not going to say when, but if you look, because we're going to Puerto Rico, all of us in 2026. We're going to be in Puerto Rico. We're going to be hosting a retreat, a shamanic retreat, where there's just a lot of different healing modalities. So we are going to have Regla de Ocha. We're going to have Lukimi. We're going to have shamanism. There's a shaman there, a medicine man, who has served over 400 ceremonies all over the world. He's going to be there. I was his apprentice for over 5 years, so I've learned so much from him. We also have a Soul Tribe sister right here from YouTube, our Pisces Soul Tribe, that's joining us to help lead as well. And she'll be sharing all of her gifts. She's a Tao practitioner. She's amazing as well. I've also received from her too, our soul sister Victoria. So she's also going to be on the retreat. And we're going to be gathering so the Caribbean islands are the balance key point on our new Earth Ascension grid system. So if you go to any of the Caribbean islands, you are experiencing a heart portal, which is balanced in both masculine and feminine energy, so it's really like take what you need, right, from the land, give back to the land, and let's co-create with one another. But I will say, if you see me on the Caribbean, doing readings from the Caribbean, I'm there. Should you let someone touch your head? No, you've been to Jamaica. Oh yeah, Jamaica is beautiful. Jamaica also has Taino and Arawakan, like Indian ancestry. It depends. I think a lot of times too, like say for example in shamanism, oftentimes your initiation is getting sick. And I think a lot of like even medicine men or women, it's within all of us. So everyone's a medicine man or woman. I believe that when we get sick, that is initiation to heal ourselves. Everything is curable. I will say just in general, like be mindful of like who touches you, be mindful of energy exchange. It's also like we are responsible for our own energy too. So I know for me, I try, even whoever it is, to have the firm energetic boundaries of my energy is my energy, and I will not accept, anyone else's energy or negativity. Yes, I love that. Yes, Benjamin. All right. But yeah, I'll be sharing some more information soon. Yes, self-healing. Everyone is a medicine man or woman. And often part of my journey sometimes too was like, yes, I had the mentors and teachers and I really did go to them. I have been through initiations and maybe will be for the rest of my life. I've also initiated myself so much. There was once that I had an almost seizure. I got myself out of it. My first ever soul retrieval was me, and this was years ago. I did a ceremony for myself and I did my first soul retrieval by myself, and then again, I'm not someone also who's just self-taught. Like I have gone to the gurus and the teachers to make sense of it. I don't know if anyone else resonates, but for me, it's like, whoa, I know way too many things that I don't know how I know that I maybe shouldn't know. And that's just way too much for me to be walking around this earth without making sense of it. So that was my journey where, I didn't go to like high priests or priestesses or gurus or coaches to get any power or anything. It was more to understand the things I already knew. Does that make sense? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I'm not going to share too much. Oh my gosh. My son would like that comment, final boss. I won't share too much. As it's a journey it is that I'm still on. My spiritual mother and father are Yemaya and Obatala. So that's my spiritual mother and father, which is, it makes sense of the wisdom thing of just since a child, always reading, always seeking wisdom, always seeking to understand, you know, where I can't help but understand. And I always want to understand more. You know, I think what separates us the most, what causes the most hatred and separation in the world is a lack of wisdom. You know, where we judge or we attack different beliefs without actually understanding what it is. You know, like I grew up Christian. At one point I thought, you know, I was taught, I never thought that. I was taught that like Egypt was like, no, don't do that. They have multiple gods and goddesses. No, it's a monotheistic, right? Religion system. There's only one God. You know, same with like, say, for example, the Orishas. There's only one God. It's monotheistic. You know, these are all, you know, say in ancient Kemeticism, these are all parts of nature, but there's one God, there's one all creator, you know. Yes, exactly. There's only one God. And so I've always only believed in one God, you know, and I'm not, you know, Christian anymore, I guess you could say. Jesus Christ, like for my neighbors, you can hear gospel music, you hear all kinds of music. They're probably wondering what I am. But, you know, I still listen to gospel music daily. I love gospel music. And Yeshua Jesus, you know, it was actually in a coconut cleansing. So it was a head rogation that I had an experience with Yahweh, where he told me, you know, whoever has used the name Jesus to separate, that was not me. And what Yahweh told me in this head rogation was that his name was used as an egregore, you know, colonization, where it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, or you this, or you that, and that's not light. That is not free, that's control, you know, and that's not light at all. And so, yes, I love gospel music. One of my favorites is Victor Thompson. I love all of his music so much. And he's actually Yoruban. I love all of his music so much. No, he wasn't. Yes, Real Talk. And his name is Real Talk. That's why I'm saying that. He didn't look at all like in this head rogation. I saw Yahweh's face, and he didn't look at all like the way that they show in the Bible, or, you know, in certain religions. A few days later, my health, I had miracles happen in my health, even in wealth, you know. Now, not everyone has agreed like with certain perspectives that I have, or beliefs, or, you know, my walk and things like that. But it's improved my health and my life, my clarity, just so much, you know. Yeah, Christ means light. And the name should always be used to unify, never to separate. I'm going to look at the comments here. My mom can look at people and be like, you're pregnant, before they even know. Yeah, I posted a video, a picture of my son, and I got a whole lot of messages of, oh my gosh, congratulations. My son is 7 years old. There is no birthing over here. My son is 7. There was no chance. I went to the doctor like 2 weeks ago. He said, but are you sure that there's no chance? Yeah, unless I'm having baby Jesus. Unless I'm Mother Mary and Archangel Gabriel is coming down and telling me, but because there's no Joseph. Before they even know. Oh, and she's a Pisces too. Wow. Beautiful light, family of light is what I hear, Misty Love. And Misty Love, didn't you get some hape or rape last year? I believe it was you that got, it could be wrong though. Hape or rape. We are going to start putting it back on the website. The ancient tools, so the karipes, the tepes. You know, I work a lot with the Yawanawa tribe and the shamans of the Yawanawa tribe. So one of them is the one who's going to be at the Puerto Rico retreat. So he'll be there for November 2026. It's the 11/11 portal. If you do sign up in the next 30 days, the payment plan is less than $200 a month. So you could go to Puerto Rico. You don't not need a passport. Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, despite what a lot of people aren't realizing right now. It's a U.S. territory, but we're all going to be gathering with one another, such sacred and rich lands. And we always give back to the land. Every time I go, we give back. We give free ceremonies to the locals. We help out the locals when we're there. The last retreat, I bought like a bunch of dog food and cat food. We feed all the stray dogs and cats. So we do our best to give back just everything and anything that we can, while we're there, for just how much the land has given to us. Russia opened its oldest church, the paintings. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I love that. Exactly. Pangea. So if we think of Pangea, right, and I don't know like if it's proven in history or whatever, I think that it is. But Pangea, that we were all one land at one point. There was some point in Pluto evolution, right? That even the continents like separated, right? Where it was all one at some point. So all paths lead home. Yeah, I have a bird named Ori. I have two birds. I have one named Kiwi that was given to me, but then now I have a white bird that's named Ori. And so I just wake up every morning and I just say, hi, Ori. And I speak blessings upon her. So the Ori, the bird, it's a her. All right. Well, thank you for being here. Feel free to check out the website, 144bluerosetemple.com, to join our Venusian workshop. Now, again, Patreon just has many benefits where you get rituals. There's ways to increase your wealth, to protect your soul destiny, Akashic records, you get extra readings. And no matter what tier you're on, even if it's the $7 tier, you get access to all workshops as long as you're a member. So as long as you're a member, free workshop. The workshop could be $70. You get in for free. All right, so feel free to join the Patreon. I need to go to PR with you. I would love for you to go with me. Yes. I know, yeah. So I had a flying experience that shook me up a little bit a few months ago, but it didn't stop me. Yeah, I try not to be like in fear, and things like that. However, whatever resonates with you, I would love for you to be there. All right, and our intention is at one point having land in Puerto Rico. What the intention is to have like a retreat space, to have a land space where it's a safe haven. So that's the intention. That's more long-term, maybe not so long-term. I'm open to it happening tomorrow. I'm also open if it's 10, 15 years from now. Our intention is to have land, and we have a team already that's working on it. Land in Puerto Rico, which is just sacred land. We'll treat it very sacred, and giving back to the community. So there'll be a community garden. There will be crates. So there's something in Puerto Rico and other places too called crates, where it's like not a milk crate, but like the truck crates, but they turn it into a home. And so RVs and milk crates, we're going to be putting it on the land for people to live on, and so like my intention, why is my name Returning Home? So my name is like Returning Home on the website, and Let's Go Home. I was homeless over like 7 times in my life. First time I was homeless, I was 12 years old. And it's happened many times. A lot of people know my story of first being online of I had a house fire, and the only thing that didn't burn was a Bible. I end up getting into a new apartment. A few months later, create a YouTube. It goes viral almost instantly. And so my intention is to actually help people in homelessness. And if we can get land, to have like RVs, to have crates, even tents, which you won't always like withstand in the rain, but if we can get, those spaces and places, light workers can be safe. There's a lot going on in the USA. There's a lot going on in the world. I think it's time for us to all gather, and it's time for light workers to have safe and sacred spaces to live in their soul destiny with no fear, and to share their soul mission and destiny with no fear. Yeah, it is. It's a special place to heal. Massive fan. Thank you. Thank you for being here, M. Johnson. And truly, thank you for being here. I look at some of my, even from last year, So that video that we posted about, I realized now that was 2 years ago, and I had the nose ring was 2 years ago. And just even certain things, I'll look at myself and I'm like, oh, wow. Like we're really family. We're all growing with one another. And never think that I'm not grateful that you all grow with me. And we go to our own ways, Misty, like we won't be in each other's energetic fields for some time, but we always come back home. So truly, thank you for being here. Thank you for growing with me. We're all rising with one another. I think it's silly to think that one person would be the same, or for me to think that you would be the same. We're living in the age of Aquarius, in a Pluto revolution. We're being asked to evolve, especially this year in the Serpent. I think if anything, it's reminding us that, everything changes. The only constant thing is change. And so it's important for us to honor that in one another. Oh my gosh, the comments. Wow, we need some Jesus Christ up in these comments. Where are the people telling me to go home to Jesus? Thank you, Booker Man. Hi, Benjamin. All right. Well, yeah, thank you for being here. Feel free to email me if you have any questions. Join the Patreon Blue Rose Mystery School. And we're going to be back tomorrow for a Pisces reading and for some Ancient Souls readings. All right. So I'm sending you all infinite love, whoever you are, wherever you are, and many blessings to you.